Whoa, that gave me such goosebumps when all the people appeared in the background. That was freaky. So I just watched Ren's video where he explains the whole situation. I haven't watched Kujo Beat Down yet, because that's what I want to get into in this video. But I just wanted to say that I felt so deeply for him because I really recognize the type of situation that he got into. He seems like such a generous person, and as I was watching it, I recognized a lot in myself, where I'm always trying to find a solution amicably, and in the end, also offer way too much, where he was the one being bullied, where he was the one was being reasonable. They were the ones being completely unreasonable. And it's really unfair because the people who have a good heart usually get hit the most this way. And I have also dealt with a couple situations where, and that specifically relates to film industry, where there's similar unpleasant actors active, right? Who are not fair, who don't care about morals or doing what's right. And it's easy to prey on people who, first of all, may not seem to have as much, and Ren has been really open about that, so he becomes an easy target. And then he also, got a lot of success off his music, which made this guy feel entitled to that somehow. But there's a lot of people out there who feel that they can use people towards their own success. And it's really, really unpleasant. And having dealt with some of that myself, I, over the years, have become a lot harder. And I think you need to be. And I am glad that Ren, in the end, made the choice to just take everything down himself, keep control of the situation, and not give them anything. Because it sets a precedent in a way. And it also, you give away a part of your soul with that too. And I'm glad that he kept that. And I can only imagine how overwhelmed he was with everything. And I just really empathize a lot with the whole situation. And I won't really talk about what happened to me, but I have had people, no, I should say one person, who went out to make phone calls and send emails to everyone I worked with about what a bad person I was and was making up lies. Thankfully, everyone that they reached out to knew that it was lies because it made no sense because they know me, right? But still, it's really, 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 really stressful when that happens. And that was when, my profile was even lower than it is now. And so it is something that comes with, having a platform, having whatever kind of fame, really. It doesn't even matter. And you can become a target in these kinds of situations even when you don't have a platform. Yeah, all my love to Ren. And now I would like to get into the video. So let's take a look. Also, if you are new here, my name is Manon. I'm a filmmaker, I write and direct, and absolutely have been loving analyzing Ren's videos together with Samuel. And they've been doing such an excellent job, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what kind of video they cooked up for Kujo Beat Down. So let's take a look.
Person who is rightly doing right, who is right there on the righteous path, no wrong in words I write. But the forces out there test me, Randall, trying to find the path to forgive all those who test my will. There's trouble in my heart. What the fuck, you little pussy? This ain't high rent number 2. This ain't pendulums or songs of hope that can't talk from you. And the last time we did this, the hope did prevail. Now the hope is the road that will choke a bitch pale. No, just wait a sec. Cause there's nothing to be gained when you sever the neck. I know the art is a part of your heart, so you're upset. But this hate breeds hate, please please wait, geez, when I'm getting pretty sick of the sick boy, trying to be the it boy, trying to be the I'm so morally equipped boy. Face it, you're mad as fuck, Ren. Now let me cut this worm with my razor blade pen. Fuck it.
Wow.
Hi Kujo, please don't try to struggle, hear me out, see I'm on your side really. Well, I was, till I found you could get a little greedy. Push your luck a little.
Whoa. That gave me such goosebumps when all the people appeared in the background. That was freaky. Oh my god, I love that. This is so big. And I cannot help but understand and feel like all of the tension that he put into this, and his frustration and his anger. And it's so clear from the song, the music, as well as the visuals, clearly, right? Wow. And the lyrics are so apt, obviously. So we start here where we have the music, basically, he's breathing, and we have this beat going with the breathing, and it's really intense. And also he is like crouching like a monster, and he's dressed in this really deep, bright red, clearly signifying blood, anger, hate. It's that color, right? But interestingly, it's also the color of love. So it's an interesting contrast I always find with the color red and how we symbolize it. And I really feel like we're hitting all of the symbolism here with that color. Because he so deeply cares and loves what he does that he is pouring all of his heart into this, right? Beautiful. And his movement, and I've talked about this before, how he's such a great performer and also actor in his music videos, and we can see that in this one again. And so we have this whole performance, essentially, of him, again, talking into the camera, really emoting a lot of his feelings here, which we've talked about before, is that's something he's so good at. And we saw it in The Tale of Jenny and Screech as well, where he really, really just emotes so deeply in these performances. And probably now even more so because it is so close to his heart. And he has probably learned his lesson with never ever buying these samples again and just making his own, as he said. And this sounds amazing. And I love these shots. We've seen it before in Tale, Jenny, and Screech, especially in the tale in Screech's tale, where at the end of it he's really talking down at the camera really closely, and it just serves such good purpose here again, where it really feels like he's talking at us, at Kujo, about his feelings. And I'm loving the lighting here. We have a really sort of more pale, almost daylight colored light here, and then the blue here, which is giving us this beautiful contrast. It adds a little bit of like a mask to his face. And you can see the light here too. And I love that we're seeing this from two angles. Basically, we're seeing him perform to the camera in one shot, and then in the other, we're actually seeing him perform towards the camera, except we can't see the camera. So I don't know if they had two cameras running at the same time or not, and one had a telelens on it, like a big zoom lens, because otherwise, we would have seen the camera here if it had to be close, right? Because he's really close to the camera and he fills up the screen. So it could be that there's either a zoom cam, like a camera with a zoom lens set up here, and he's performing that at the same time, or they shot it twice and he is just performing it into a different direction, which is a really interesting choice stylistically. And here, where he's actually like strangling the camera, it's an incredible visual, very powerful. And I love that it almost looks like he's on a stage, except this might be a basement or even a garage. And it's very dark. It's very, very dark. They've positioned these lights quite interestingly. This almost looks like a stage light. And then we have this one blue light coming from here, and it's just giving it a little bit of a creepy, haunting glow. But then he disappears off the stage, and we just see nothing at all, but we hear what's happening right behind the curtains. And here comes the guy that is supposed to be Kujo. Wow, that is huge. I can only imagine how they must be feeling about this. I wonder if we're talking about this situation, like, do you so explicitly want to symbolize violence to this guy? I don't know. Obviously, it's symbolic, but also at the same time, it's scary. I don't know how this video is going to end, so I might be in for a surprise. These are some, oh, and look, we have this, you know, it almost looked like that it's a judgment day for this guy, right? Like, these are the judges that are watching. I found the shot where we see the people in the back for the first time. This is incredible. It's just a flash. It's so creepy. It's so cool. It's so well done. It's really like, you know, and it comes up with the choir. It feels so intense and so creepy, scary. Really well done. And so I've frozen it here because I just wanted to see like the space that we're in. I do think it's like a basement. Really curious where this was shot. And we have some boarded up parts here. Maybe there was a door there that they just wanted to cover up. So we have these guys standing here on these pedestals, on these bases. They look like statues. And then the light just flashes and brightens them just slightly so that it's kind of a surprise. And with the combination of the choir, it really feels and sounds like there's this panel of judges that has become present, and it's Kujo's judgment day, essentially. It's so powerful. So powerful. It's so cool. So let's continue watching this.
You could get a little greedy, push your luck a little far. There's a moral, little Jimmy, of the cookie and the jar. See the needy and the greedy, they're just trying to fill a hole. So they take and then they take and still the empty in their soul. They feel so hard done by, poor little you. Wanna take from me big, then I'll take from you too. Shut up, slut, you said enough. I thought you said you like it rough. I thought you said she liked it rough. You're a bitch, man, what the fuck? I'm confused by this dynamic. Like it's Bonnie and it's Clyde, but the killing you're committing is career suicide. Whoa, guys, you probably think that this is extreme.
Oh, career suicide is the killing. Oh my god, that's... And then he brings out the girlfriend. Wow. And I love these close-ups of Kujo with the whole judgment panel behind them. This. Incredible. Also, what we have here, if you look at the color scheme, obviously we have the blood now here on his head, but we also have this bright red tape on his mouth, which is exactly the same color that Ren is wearing. And so, yeah, he's very visibly trying to make him shut up, right? This guy is being gagged. And this is basically the end of what Ren has to say about it. But look at that shot. I love the lighting, and I love the way that they're holding their hands behind him. Like, this is great. Really amazing visuals. We very briefly saw this light. Oh, there it is. Here you can see the blue light that I was talking before. So they just have the one blue light set up here that is casting this contrasted light. And it's really interesting, especially how it interplays with the red, because it makes it stand out even more.
Bonnie and it's Clyde, but the killing you're committing is career suicide. Whoa, guys, you probably think that this is extreme, I won't lie. Maybe just a little bit mean, you know, I feel a little bad about it, really. Nah, I'm only messing, lad. I love to spank the greedy. Fear me. I hope you wake up sweating from your nightmares, see me. I'm the sick boy that you enslave, free me. When you fuck with my work, you might as well bleed me. I put my whole soul into my words legally. Now a little thief want beef, want steal from me. That's how little thief lose teeth, you meal to me. I'm the subject matter, you are part of the scenery. This is how the sick boy work, you feeling me? Cunt, I'm sick with the pen. I went easy on the daughter, he's a friend, it's Zen. But if I ever hear your mouth speak the name of Ren out in public, then it's public, you don't want that again. And no warning for your bitch, if a girlfriend too. Mrs. Nice behind the scenes, poor Kujo, boo-hoo. If I ever read another fucking comment from you, then this is only part one, it's even worse than part two.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, if I could, I would just sit with this for a minute. This is... Wow. I mean, it's interesting because it's so modern, right? In a way that we're having a reaction video to a legal debacle. It feels very 21st century in a way where we're having this public reaction to something like this. I mean, it also reminds me a little bit of the Drake and Kendrick thing. But this is definitely a piece of art. Like, I can't really argue otherwise. They did such an incredible job with this video. My goodness. Wow. Just look at this shot, for example. Here, all of the legal team, I'm guessing, has been killed too because they've been so useless. Maybe that's what he is trying to symbolize with these people now here also being bloody and implicated in everything. And he is just so done with all of them, right? Like before they were sort of maybe backing Kujo. Maybe that's why they were behind him. And they came closer. And it just, maybe it made Ren feel really alone. And that's sort of what it's meant to symbolize. But it's very powerful. Something else I noticed is that all of a sudden he's wearing a pig mask. Very creepy. I think maybe it's the one that we saw in High Ren. It opens on a guy with a mask. Can't remember right now if that's a pig mask. So let me know in the comments if that's what it is. And then we have this crazy, again, in a flash moment where we have this high violin sound, a little bit like the movie Psycho. It sounds a little bit like that screechy sound of the shower scene. And all of a sudden the roles are reversed and Ren is in the chair and Kujo is holding him down. So it's so interesting because I can't imagine that this is what he felt like. But now with this, the roles have truly reversed. What an incredible ending to this too. I mean, I'm glad actually that he put this disclaimer at the end because it does feel a little violent. We don't see any physical violence happening in this, but we know what he means. I based on everything that he said, I don't believe that he would ever do anything. And it is a very creative way of expressing his anger and his frustration and his sense of being silenced. I think that it is a very, very, very powerful piece of art. But I hope that this is the end of it. I hope we don't need a part 2. I hope that everything is resolved now. And I'm really looking forward to seeing another version of Sick Boy. I don't know, or at least hearing it. I don't know if he's going to be doing another video for it too. But I have so much respect for what he's doing and what he went through. And this is something that I can really relate to in how Ren approached this, is that he assumed the good in this guy. He assumed that this guy was reasonable. But clearly he isn't. And that's really hard to find out, that how you treat people is not how other people treat people, even though we want them to. And like, that's an ideal that we have. And I hope that Ren doesn't lose that belief in other people, like his belief in that people can be good people. Because I do really believe that the good ends and start with us. It's like, it doesn't matter what other people are doing. We have to continue to do the right thing, even if they don't do it. And so I really hope that he'll stick to his intuition in that way. Because it's really tough out there for creators and musicians and filmmakers and anyone who finds some sort of success in creativity, because there's a lot of really, really sickly, jealous people. Anyway, on that happy note, let me wrap it up. First of all, a big thank you to Ren, because he has been so wonderful to fellow creatives on YouTube and in the world out there. I really actually agree with this idea of the tide lifts all boats, and that is something that I very much live by, and we will all grow through generosity. So I love that he said that. So big thank you to Ren, and I'm truly, truly wishing him all the best in the world. And then, of course, we can continue the conversation in the comments. I really would love to invite you to share your thoughts in the comments about this video, about the whole situation. Maybe you feel like you can share if this has happened to you too, where someone strangely was trying to silence you or trying to get something off you that was just not fair. Because I'm sure that it's happened to more of us. And something that I love about film and music and video like this is that it can be a vehicle for us to actually talk about these things. And that is the power in this too, is like commiserating and sharing these things make that we don't feel so alone. So please feel free to share. You can also join us on my Discord, which you can find the link of below, where we have a really great group of people. We talk about movies and music and all of the things that we all love. I also have a Patreon that you can support. But for now, I wanted to wish you a great day. All my love. See you next time. Peace.
There's a moral, little Jimmy, of the cookie and the jar. See the needy and the greedy, they're just trying to fill a hole. So they take and then they take, and still they're empty in their soul. They feel so hard done by, poor little you. Wanna take from me, big? Then I'll take from you too.